I'm going to give a little bit of credit to the Redskins to start this one off because they did strike first, took a 7-0 lead. First time the Patriots actually trailed in a game this season. But still, they scored 33 unanswered points. How do you feel about this Redskins team now? No team has ever come back from an 0-5 start to turn it around to make the postseason. Do you believe in this team, or what do you think needs to change? Comment on our Facebook page right below. I'm gonna read some of your comments and answer some of your questions, also your concerns. Speaking of concerns, I'm sure head coach Jay Gruden, he didn't say he was concerned, but if your job is, a lot of people are talking about losing your job, you're probably going to be concerned. He had to answer questions about the future of his job as a head coach of the Redskins. He said he wasn't concerned at all. He's just going to go back into work on Monday to prepare for Miami, which is another winless team. But here's my prediction on this. I think Jay Gruden does stay around for this week. If he loses to the 0-4 Miami Dolphins, you got to go. You got to go. I don't want anybody to lose their job. Unfortunately, this is where we are. It's the reality of the Washington Redskins. First time 0-5 in 18 years. Back during the 2001 season. Of course, they didn't make the playoffs that year. So comment on our Facebook page. What direction do you feel like this Redskins team needs to go? Are you still cheering for the Redskins? Did you give up? What needs to change? Tell me something. Because a lot of players in the locker room, they know like something needs to change. They haven't really figured it out. But every single week, they're like, you know what, we got to watch the film. We got to make these corrections. We're making all these mistakes. But that's what you practice for. But still, when they hit this field right behind me at FedEx Field, it's the same result. So remember, comment below. I'm going to read some of your comments right now to see what you guys are talking about and how you feel. We already have 9 comments. So let me just read a few of these, and I'll get down to some other stuff. This after I read these comments, wait until you listen to some of these numbers I'm about to drop on just literally how bad this Redskins team has been this season. All right, so Kimberly Riddick says open. Oh, I don't know what that means. Suzanne Delph says get rid of coach, as in head coach Jay Gruden. Hilda says, oh boy, a lot of people feel that way as well. You know they're chanting Brady's name here at FedEx Field? I mean, it was Brady, Brady. You would think this game was in Foxborough. Matter of fact, when I was driving up, I tweeted, I was like, I see more Tom Brady jerseys than I do Redskins jerseys. Carol Mealy says, you know what, let me take the sound off of here. Carol says they are very consistent. Who's very consistent? Oh, consistently bad? Is that what you mean, Carol? Let me know. Comment on our page. I want to know who's consistent. The Patriots, because they are consistent. And, yes, the Redskins are consistently bad. Tommy Beard says, my Raiders won. You know what's funny? Donald Penn, who used to play for the Raiders, he was mentioning about all these penalties. And he was like, you know what? I thought the Raiders were, like, basically being picked on and getting a lot of calls called on them, a lot of flags called on them. Until he played for the Washington Redskins. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. It is the worst of his career. Comment on our Facebook page. I'm reading these out. As soon as I read a few more out, I'm going to read you some numbers about how bad these Washington Redskins are and where do we go from here. Who needs to go? Who needs to come in? Who needs to play? Listen, I don't have any more years of eligibility in college football, but if they want me to go out and play, trust me, I'll run a little counter tray if they need me to run it. Ronald Green says, fire someone. Jennifer Emmons says, start at the top and start letting people go. So at the top, you know who that is. I guess that's my man Dan Snyder. Sonia Hill says, Redskins suck anyways. Crystal Boiler says, fire coaching staff. Please sell the team, Dan Snyder, to someone who cares. Brenda Barton says, very sad for all the Redskins fans. Dorothy Barnes says, skins lost. I'm going to read some more comments in just a little bit. I'm always going to get to some of these comments, but let me get to these numbers real fast. So the Redskins, they lose to the Patriots. They're 0-5, first time in 18 seasons. They lose to the Patriots 33-7. So they've now lost, the Redskins that is, they've lost 7 straight games dating back to the last season. They've also lost 6 straight games at home. And I mentioned this number before. No team in NFL history has ever started 0-5 and turned it around and made the postseason. I'm not done, y'all. I got to just go to the next page. That's how bad this is. I'm not done. So all week they were deciding on who should be the starting quarterback. Case Keenum was in there. Then he was benched for rookie Dwayne Haskins. Then all of a sudden, Dwayne Haskins, he didn't perform that well. I feel like because he needs to be prepared a little bit better. Then Colt McCoy came back from his injury. Remember, he broke his leg, I believe it was December 3rd against the Philadelphia Eagles last season. He comes back in here, and, it looked pretty good at first. Basically, when the Redskins are trying to find an answer to turn this season around, they did not find an answer. They couldn't find the answer with Case Keenum, couldn't find an answer with Dwayne Haskins, and they sure did not find the answer with Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy, by the way, 7-22 in games that he started in his NFL career. So that's not a good number there. Make sure you comment below on our Facebook page if you have an answer on how this Redskins team can turn their season around. And like Adrian Peterson joked about in the locker room, actually I think he might have been serious because he's a big competitor. But this team could turn around and be 11-5. They could. So it could happen. It has never happened before, but it could happen. What did happen right behind me, matter of fact, it was over there, I believe, between the 40 and 30-yard line. If you remember, last year against the Houston Texans, Alex Smith broke his leg. Since Alex Smith broke his leg, and basically we lost a quarterback who was supposed to lead this franchise, the Redskins are 1-12 since Alex Smith got hurt. So there's two ways I look at that. I could look at it like, dang, the Redskins are bad, but also gives you an idea how important Alex Smith was to this franchise. And let's be honest. Yes, a lot of things need to change with this Redskins team. But if Alex Smith never got hurt, we wouldn't be in this quarterback shuffle. That changed a lot of things. And J.J. Watt for the Houston Texans sacking Alex Smith, Jay Gruden has nothing to do with that. All those injuries, Jay Gruden has nothing to do with that. It's his team, and he has to deal with the consequences of what happens with his team. But just think about it. When we look at, okay, Jay Gruden needs to get fired. Jay Gruden needs to get fired. It just shows you how big and important Alex Smith was to this particular team. Remember, comment on our Facebook page. I'm going to start reading some more comments out again. I love some of the responses you guys have given so far. This is really good, guys. Dorothy Barnes says Skins lost. Yes, they did lose. They're 0-5. First time since 2001. John Michael Hamlet says, it all starts with getting a new owner. Baby Snyder. That's not a misspelling. That's correct. Baby Snyder is a loser with money, unfortunately. John Williams says, why would you predict that scrub coach will stay? This is why I predict that he will stay, because everyone and their mama knew that they were going to lose to the Patriots. If you knew they were going to lose to the Patriots, just fire him last week. You gave him the opportunity to get Colt McCoy back to see if they can make a change and change some things, but everybody knew that the Patriots are going to win this game. The big one is can they win against another team that sucks? Those are the Miami Dolphins, who I saw a funny tweet out there. It said the Miami Dolphins 0 or 3, the bye week 72. Like, they even lost during a bye week. That's how bad the Miami Dolphins are as well. There's been talk about them tanking so they can get a first-round draft pick. There's been players on that team that are trying to get traded on purpose because they don't want to be with the part of a team that's tanking. That's how bad they are down in Miami. So we have the Loser Bowl next week Sunday. And if you lose a Loser Bowl, you're the ultimate loser of the losers. And that's why I feel like Jay Gruden should stick around to see if he can win the Loser Bowl. I hope that answered your question, John. It was a long answer, wasn't it? But continue to comment on our Facebook page. I love these comments that are coming in. Redskins, once again, they lose 33-7. Redskins 0-5 for the first time in 18 seasons. Here's one highlight before I read some more comments that you guys are writing right now. They sacked Tom Brady, future Hall of Famer, if you never heard of him. Tom Brady, pretty handsome guy, went to the University of Michigan, beat up on Ohio State a few times, just putting that out there. Or David Satchel, photographer, he went to Ohio State. But they sacked Tom Brady 4 times. That's the most he was sacked in a game since week 3 back in 2017. The press box is over there, but I used to work in Boston. I left my desk and I went over to the PR people for the Patriots. I'm like, dude, when was the last time Brady was sacked 4 times? And they were scratching their head because he doesn't get sacked that often. If you look at the previous games, 'cause I did some research this season before I gave up to go to the Patriots PR, he wasn't sacked at all, I think, in the previous 2 games. And I believe week 2, he was sacked twice. And I think week 1, he was sacked once. So that shows you they guys don't get to Tom Brady that often. He is 75 years old, so you want to protect him really well. Comment on our Facebook page. Redskins lose 33-7. I'm going to read some more comments you guys have. Thomas Kennerly says, fire Gruden and Bruce Allen ASAP. John Williams says, he's not even playing Adrian Peterson. The running game establishes a lot. Man, there's so many things that I wish I could tell you guys right now. But Adrian Peterson did mention that what they've been working on is not working. So something needs to change. I'm going to mention that in my 6:30 sportscast, so make sure you guys tune into WSA 9 as well, because I have a full recap of what happened inside the locker room too. So make sure you guys watch tonight, because Adrian Peterson, it was definitely the quote of the day about how something needs to change, and he was serious about it. Kate Johnson says Gruden has to go. Daniel Creek says, have they gave up? I don't think the team gave up. I think I don't know what it is. I believe they're actually trying. I do believe that some of the players are not happy with the way that maybe the coaches are calling particular plays, or just players are just not happy in general. And something needs to change, like Adrian Peterson said. I'm not in the locker room when they're talking to them. I don't have a locker next to them. But I do know that as a former player, when you come out to try to play, trust me, you want to win. When teams are actually losing, there are players who become selfish. Not saying that's anybody on this Redskins team. But when you become selfish, that selfish person still wants to try to perform really well for themselves. So if you put it all together, still nobody's giving up. Jerry House says, anything but the Deadskins. Kenneth Smith says, everyone's saying get a new owner. Y'all sound stupid. Tammy Lewis says, Patriots #1, congratulations. Gregory Wilson says they suck. Marius Blanc says, Brady wore it's not a bad word. He said Brady wore a pink thong. Hey, you know what? If that's the way he wants to celebrate, well, not celebrate, to support breast cancer awareness, let him wear the pink thong. Roy Jackson II says, just got rid of the whole team. Oh, just get rid of the whole team. Sorry about that. John Williams says, the Skins haven't been good since the early 90s. My kids were babies. Damian Bond says, Gruden will be fired tonight. Damian Bond says, hear that? Damian Bond says, Jay Gruden will be fired tonight. This is just a regular person. This is not like a main source or anything like that. We're getting a cue for something?
Yeah, they want to mow.
They want to mow the lawn here. So that, either I can keep talking to you guys, they're going to mow me over, and the field's going to be red. So continue to comment on our Facebook page. I'm going to read a few more comments out, and then I'm going to wrap this all up. I'm going to try to respond to everybody like I always do. You guys are so very supportive of this. So here's a couple more. Beverly says Snyder and Gruden have to go. Pathetic. John Smith says there's serious issues in this whole organization. Sharon Scholler says, and why is Gruden still the coach? Anthony Prudencio says, no more support until Snyder sells. Gregory Wilson says, change the name. Washington liberal losers. Arthur Yates says, Pats pay to win. Chris Medding says, hire a real GM, as in, get rid of Bruce Allen. Daniel Johnson says, no offense, terrible team. Alan Cole says, Dolphins will win next week. Wow, Alan, let's see if they win in the loser bowl. So before they mow me down, let's get my last recap. So once again, Redskins lose 33-7. Redskins dropped to 0-5 for the first time since 2001. No team that has started 0-5 has ever turned it around to make the postseason. They are now 1-12 since Alex Smith went down dating back to last season. Colt McCoy, who we thought could possibly be the answer, he is now 7-22 in NFL games that he has started in. And the Redskins have lost 7 straight dating back to last season. Redskins are now moving on to Miami to take on the Dolphins, who are 0-4. Someone's got to win. It's the loser bowl. Let's hope the Redskins are not the ultimate losers of the losers. I'm Darren Haynes reporting from FedEx Field. Continue to comment on our Facebook page. I'm out.